Good morning. I wanted to share a discovery with you or a realization that I had. And I'm reading the one-page marketing plan because, as a lot of you know, I'm a professional organizer. I'm all about making life meaningful, and I'm getting ready to launch some services with my business along with another business, which we'll be announcing really soon. So I can't wait to share that with you. But as I am preparing for all of that, I'm reading this book to kind of, I like to be prepared and plan. So I am reading this book. But in here, I had a really great realization. So we're going to talk about the Pareto principle, and I could be saying that wrong, but the Pareto principle, which is the 80-20 rule. So have you ever heard the term or phrase, work harder, not smarter? Because I've heard that several times, and I always thought, well, that's a great concept. And sometimes you think you change and do things that you're working smarter, not harder. But then you realize that you're really not. You're not sure what does that really mean, right? Sometimes, what does that really mean? As I was reading through this, I was like, oh, I've got to share this because it all came together, and I was like, that's what it means to work smarter and not harder. So the Pareto principle, let me give you the backstory of it first. Vilfredo Pareto was an Italian economist who noticed that 80% of the land in Italy was owned by 20% of the population. And so that's kind of how the Pareto principle, commonly known as the 80-20 rule, was born. So it turns out that the 80-20 rule holds true for more than just land and ownership. It holds true for almost anything you care to think of. So here's some examples. 80% of a company's profits come from 20% of its customers. 80% of road traffic accidents are caused by 20% of the drivers. 80% of software usage is used by 20% of users. 80% of a company's complaints come from 20% of its customers. 80% of wealth is owned by 20% of people. And Woody Allen even noticed that 80% of success is showing up. So, in other words, the Pareto principle predicts that 80% of effects come from 20% of causes. So some people always think that, laziness, they say the necessity is the mother of invention. But here, this author says that he thinks laziness is the mother of invention, which I think that could kind of be true too. So they're saying essentially, this is the part where we start talking about increasing your productivity and working smarter, not harder. So they're saying in this that essentially you can cut out 80% of the stuff that you're doing. Doesn't that sound great? Sit on the couch eating nachos instead, and you'll still get most of the results you're getting. And then if you don't want to sit on the couch chowing down on nachos 80% of the time, then doing more of the 20% stuff is your fast track to success. And in this context, they're saying success equals more money while doing less work. I mean, we all like that, right? So then, if you take this even further, and this is where it really gets exciting. So if you think the 80-20 rule is exciting, the 64-4 rule will blow your mind. So you can apply the 80-20 rule to the rule itself. So we take 80% of 80 and 20% of 20, and we end up with the 64-4 rule. So 64% of effects come from 4% of causes. So in another way, the majority of your success comes from the top 4% of your actions. Or put another way, 96% of the stuff you do is a waste of time. So I just thought that was great. Awesome. So we all have so much access, no matter who you are, we have access to so much information right now. So that just proves that lack of information isn't an issue holding us back. It's human behavior and mindset. So I hope that helped you kind of start getting your wheels turning and thinking of ways that you can work smarter and not harder, and start thinking about, what can I cut out? What am I doing that I don't really need to be doing? I know I had a long to-do list, and I've talked about this before. I had a long to-do list, and there was always things that like didn't get done, week after week after week, that didn't get done. And then when I finally looked at it, and I was like, do these things even really need to be done? No, they didn't. And once I took them off my list, it was great. It was like such a relief. So think about the things in your life that you're doing that may not really need to get done, that you just for some reason think they do, or things that you can, have someone else do. Give it to them. Take it off your plate, and do that 4%. That's really going to get you moving forward on where you want to go. So this is like meant to like encourage those people who are, go do that hobby that you want to do, go start that business that you want to do, like go do those things that you've been dreaming of that you're doing, and take this principle with you, the Pareto principle, and break it down to the 64-4 rule, and really start making things happen. Do that 4%. That's going to get you to where you need to go. So I am here. I'm rooting for you. Have a great day and a meaningful Monday.